Hi, I'm Frank Cho, and you're listening to Team Nerd Herd podcast.
This is a DJ Abomination video.
Welcome back to the Team Nerd Herd podcast, where our best advice is if you want to do it right, collect what you like. Or on this segment, it's collect and read what you love. That's it. Read what you like. Same difference, just a different spin. You're on episode 4 of Dropping the Mic, Boom Studios, The Many Deaths of Laila Starr. But before we get into the title, let's go ahead and get into this roll call. Let's greet the herd chat as well. What's going on, Alonzo? How's your Sunday, brother?
Oh my God, my Sunday's been great. I just had some sour peaches. Don't know what to say about that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say about Laila Starr 2.
Oh yeah, man, this is gonna be great. And it's your boy Steve, aka Hip Hop's in Me _comics _collectibles, your 1/12 scale collector, comic book lover, and chaser of all things nostalgic. And let's go ahead and get a little rundown on the herd. Let's catch up with the herd. What's going on, D-Anime, etc. What's going on, Blood Brother, Hermano Eric the Phoenix? What's going on to HK Wifey 420 Sheena? Hey girl, hey, all up in the building, all up in the group chat. Much love to you guys. Thank you guys for rolling with us on this Sunday afternoon. Oh, my man Glenn. Glenn is up in the building. We talked horror tales on last Friday, but today we are talking about the many deaths of Laila Starr. So with that being said, we like to thank you guys for jumping on with the herd. Thank you guys for rolling with us. Definitely hit those likes, hit those subscribes, comment on what you guys liked about the review, or give us a little option of reading. Oh yeah, you see that here? Of reading something that you want to hear a review on. I'm definitely here for Bricks, the Iron Geek. I'm definitely open to hear what you guys want, you know, to go over a review on. I'm always open to read different comic books. I love everything about it. Azores Tigers is in the building from Twitch. Is he playing a video game? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it, Alonzo, right?
Let's do it.
Right. All right. So we got the creative team. We got Ron V writing this beautiful tale. You know, we got Felipe Andrade. What's going on, my brother? Hood Rat Comics up in the building. And we got Felipe Andrade drawing this boom title. It is beautiful. Before we even get to the story, I want to say, like, the colors that are used, the drawings, everything utilized is really vivid. It's bright. And it's so eye-catching, I think. But the story that Ron V has written is so beautiful. In issue 2, I mean, we're going to go over issue 2, but let's go back to issue 1 and kind of unpack that. You guys can tell I'm excited. I love these stories. Perpetual Comics, the man who recommended this comic to read. So you guys, again, you guys got comics that you would recommend, let me know. I will read them, and we will do a review. Also, I will dig in my boxes, and also, you know, we got a little bit of surprises coming for you guys. We've got advanced readings coming on to the Team Nerd Herd, and we would like to kind of go over those reviews as well. But let's go ahead and take a step back to this issue 1. Okay, so we have a cast of characters. I think Ron V really does some really good character building. He really touches on certain aspects of characters, and like the panels kind of bleed into telling the tale as well as you are reading and seeing from within and what is going on. You got Mrs. Shaw, who is pregnant, and you got who we don't know yet is Laila Starr, but the balance, the beauty of balance. I love how Ron V kind of painted that picture for us, right? So as in birth comes death. You're seeing a taxi driver kind of weaving into traffic through Mumbai, and the premise would be a child being born into this world who will create immortality. Okay, so you get that panscape. You get another panscape that leers over to some kids graduating. They're celebrating before they part ways. This one young man is talking to who we know is Laila Starr, who we don't know is Laila Starr just yet. But I love the colors being used. I love the description in her face. You really don't know what she's really thinking of. She's really mysterious, beautiful at that as well. And he's talking to her, and she's just not paying attention. She's very much disconnected. Like in her face, you kind of see like there's a distaste or something about her not being happy. There's a real dullness, and there's not a sight of life. It's just in transit or in thought. Then you get this panscape of an elevator, and who we know, the goddess of death, is being called to the Silver Towers. She is nervous. I love the take, the way the drawing of the gods are. It is beautiful. I just think, like a lot of people have pictures of a higher power of the universe, but I like this take. I think it's just beautiful what Ram V did, and how Felipe Andrade painted that picture. But she's coming into the elevator. She has 6 arms. She's putting on her makeup. She's nervous. She's kind of, I love that lightness in the tale of what Ram V is kind of telling. And she's nervous. She gets called up. You have her being called up by the pureness of the purveyor of all goodness, who is the head honcho. He is the god. He is the upper power. And the beauty about this is you also have a friend in Laila Starr that you later know, his name is Agni, and she's being called in, and she's being laid off. So I like that kind of spin on things too. And a god gets laid off. It kind of pertains to a sense of humanity. We're in those shoes. We've been in those shoes through our lives, right? We've gotten laid off. If you haven't gotten laid off, God bless you guys. I don't recommend that for anybody, but it's a cool tale. It's a really cute way, and a colorful way to kind of paint the perfect picture. Can't even believe I said cute. A guy that says cute. All right. Well, play on words, guys. So she gets laid off, but in her care package, she's kind of dealing with her grief, right? She's angry. She's sad. She's almost on the verge of tears, begging. And it kind of paints that picture. She's given with a care package of a life of mortality. Life of mortality is great because she's immortal. I think if in mortality you kind of get stuck in a mundane life, which kind of is painted in this picture, right? Kind of like a mundane life, a job. But life has meaning, right? You get hurt, and she expresses that. She's like, oh my God, I got this. I'm going to be immortal. She goes, I'm going to have to people are going to let me down. I'm going to break someone's heart. Someone's going to break my heart. I can't be trusting anybody. But that's the beauty about life. I mean, you got to go through all those struggles and strifes. And I think that is caught really well in that sentence and in that kind of feed, at least to my interpretation. What did you take on it, Alonso?
No, I took it the same way. I thought it added a lot of heaviness to the story, and some realism, because I mean you have those choices to make. So I really felt that way. Again, that story did make a lot of sense. The way she's reacting to things, and the whole world building that Ram V is doing. And I also enjoyed the art too. I thought the art was fantastic. It's very energetic and frantic almost, with the style of the characters, the buildings. Just you feel the movement in this book, and I love it. From issue number 1, I was hooked. I couldn't believe hey, this is great. And honestly, I didn't even know that this was about the gods of India. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know. I was just reading, and I was like, oh my, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I know her. 6 arms. I'm like,
yeah. And I think I love that about it too. Cause I mean, in you look at Buddhism and you look at different kind of higher powers, but to bring it to an Indian aspect, I think there's more, something more in depth. There's more meaning to life. And I just think it's awesome that they really played that.
It is. And plus we're Westerners, right? I have not dealt with Hinduism and the religion and stuff like that. So this is kind of an introductory. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, this is great. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So, I mean, we definitely want to close out with issue 1. And basically the premise becomes, death, making a plea, to her friend, send me down there where he's at, and I'll take his life, and there will be no immortality. I will get my job back. Things will be normal, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, and I think that's a real like a sad take on a god and what she thinks of life, but she's death. That's all she's witnessed. And I think the beauty about this is that she's going to see what mortality is and what life is. So you always have balance, right? You have life and death. So basically what happens is she's given this task. She has a vision. She's sent down to Earth while this child is being born, and who we know is Darius. Oh yeah, couldn't agree more. And Darius is born. And in this, I love the franticness, like you say, to your point, Alonso, is a child's being born. Laila Starr is diving to her death and is in death and is trying to be resuscitated back to life. She is taken to the ER. She is pronounced dead. 30 minutes into her death, here comes the goddess of death, and casting re-life into Left Eye Lopez in the building, causing back life into Laila Starr. And Laila Starr sees this ghost, and her name is Moon Moon. And there's dialogue about what this mission is going to be. She then sees the baby. She has the child in her arms, and a sense of humanity kicks in. And I think that was awesome as well to see that. Like the ghost kind of says, I've seen a lot of people, some rich, some poor, but it's sad to see like this take on what you're going to do, and it's going to stick with you. There's consequences and repercussions and whatnot. And I love that take, because like immortality, a goddess does not know that. I mean, she's immortal. What does she know about mortality? What does she know about life? And I think that is amazing how they play that. Really, she goes and gets caught by security, and she jumps out into the busy streets of Mumbai and gets ran over. And issue 1, she dies. She gets brought back to life by the god of life. And this is 8 years later, and she wakes up, and life and her have a dialogue. She's asking her, why did you bring this child, into life? Basically asking what's going on, what's the reasoning for this? And the goddess of life says, I bring them to life, but whatever meaning and what they have is bestowed upon them, their free will. And I love the way that closed. And she says, well, he's going to bring her back into life, bring her back, and give her life again, and that's the perks of being friends with the gods. And he kind of plays on, hey, well, the child's 8 years old if you're keen and you still want to do it. And it just kind of ends. So, I mean, it's so frantic, so much world building, so much character building, just amazing. Alonso, I'm sorry.
No, I'm like, dude, tell me more. Let's hear about issue number 2. I mean, I'm my mouth is watering. I'm kind of speechless, because I mean, this whole issue 1 was just so good that tell me about issue 2.
So issue 2 opens up with Laila Starr at the cityscape at the top of the roof, and she meets a crow named Ka, and she is represented in the building. And what she's doing is she's talking to this crow. They have dialogue. He is a crow of death and a messenger to the other side. Basically, people that do not have family or that bear their soul and their wishes, they take rice. It goes to the area of the gods. So they're kind of working together. There's dialogue there. She's talking to the crow and telling her purpose of being down here. And right immediately into the panel, like he's telling her, well, I have a funeral to go to, so the streets here are very simple. If you'd like, I can be your guide. And before he asks her to go to this funeral, I love this one panel of what life is, right? You see a couple that are being loving, you see a man by himself, and the colors in the play are very like dark, like the blues. Like this person's playing the blues. There's love. There's just life in those panels. And I think that was a beautiful thing that Felipe did. And in kind of like the balance of life. There's a song, a hip hop song called Balance, and it's by AC Alone. And, you know, like we always talk about reading these indies. I would play that. And it's a hip hop take, but balance is a beautiful thing, right? He talks about life and death, and in this tale, I mean, you're really seeing it right in front of your eyes. It's just amazing. They kind of go down to talking about Darius and his family. You know, his family lived poor with his grandparents off of a farm, and you know, he's growing up and very bright kid, very inquisitive, very curious, and meets a ground person by the name of Bardon. Very tall, and the thing I love about this tale is I can see it be something like somewhat of a movie. My vision would be like Life of Pi. The colors are beautiful. There's just a visual take on this tale. And the score. The score has to be great. So I'm looking at this, and you see Bardon introduced. He's gangly, long, and he's a servant to the family. He picks jackfruit, mangoes at the ripest, and Darius takes a liking to him and asks him questions about like the other thing about this is I like in the writing that he asks, why do you turn the soil? You know, and that's a play on life, right? The earth, the worms have to enrich the soil. There's life there. You know, so he's learning these things. You know, why does a chameleon turn color? So it's all in his breath. And this man is so patient with him, so loving. And I think Darius really sees that. You know, he gets to see what life is. And there's bad news, you know, down the way. You know, eventually, you know, like time passes, they move. But before they move, you know, there's a really loving moment where Darius has a sense of humanity, you know, and he asks his parents, why don't we give these fruits to Bardon before, you know, we leave? And he's given rice and meat and just a tumbler of milk, but never the fruit. And the mother and the parents in this sense kind of look ugly to me, and they say like, you know, like because it's not meant for him, and don't put that idea in his head either. And but you know, like the beauty of and the curiosity and the loving part of kids is that their empathy. And he takes these fruits to him, and it's just a moment, a real touching moment between Bardon, and Bardon says, "Don't forget me." We later learn that the family moves into a gated community, and there's a pause of the storytelling, like where you know, like Darius is moving in to the story, but Ram V is explaining, like breaking that third wall and telling us later in this tale, you're going to find that the goddess of death meets with Darius, and they kind of cross paths, but you never know how and why. You later find that Bardon dies. You know, he passes away. It's very heartbreaking, very touching. You know, and Alonso, I mean, I don't want to kind of keep going, but I see that the wheels are turning, and I feel like you want something to add in. Please.
You know what? I just wanted I just wanted to add that you are absolute right with Bardon, and Perpetual, I'm 100% with you. Like, if we all acted like him, like, life would be so much better. And it's very heartfelt. Like, everything that Ramvi is doing, like, there's a lot of weight to it. And you feel it in the writing, you feel it with the art and what the characters are doing. And you had mentioned this earlier, Steve, about the colors. There's a lot of just beautiful colors, like, throughout this entire book, like issue 1, issue 2, and you get the oranges, the blues. I mean, everything is done to evoke feelings, you know, that we have. And oh my God, like Laila Starr, that second issue it's just phenomenal. I mean, I'm getting goosebumps just even talking about it, because I mean, it's there's so much like emotion, like in that writing and in that art, that it's just one of those things that you want more. You know, you're not satisfied with one issue or 2 issues. It's just this whole world that is being built. It's just unbelievable.
It is epic. It is a beautiful tale. I can see, like I said, I want to see it be a movie. I would love the creators of Life of Pi, or what was that Jet Li movie, that Heroes? You know how they really played on spring, and the trees were so vividly like blast out the lotus blossoms were just out there. I just see this being that, but something better. It's just a really great tale about life. I mean, the many deaths of Laila Starr could kind of turn you away, right? But in reading this, guys, I mean, it's such a beautiful tale of what life is. It's hard to play on such a sensitive topic, but to Alonso's point, Ramvi has just kind of woven this beautiful tale. As we get kind of back into Burdon dying, Darius leaves. He leaves his family. He has this calling to want to see his friend before he goes. And in dialogue, you kind of skip into what Layla and the Crow are talking about that really being a heavy subject. Like he's going to take Death's going to take the life of this child, and how she couldn't do it. And he's kind of explaining to her as why, she couldn't do it, because she has a sense of humanity. There's humanity that kicked in. There's a great dialogue about life too. I mean, they talk about what it is to be immortal, what it is for death. The thing that binds us is memory. We all have these memories of loved ones that have left us, and I think that's a beautiful thing, to be able to look at a family portrait and still have heartache and tears come down your face and apathy. It is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and Steve, I just so our audience knows, like the writing isn't heavy-handed, so it's not in your face. Everything just leads you there, and it's beautiful. It really is. So don't expect these things to be like in your face. I mean, it gets there. And it's very subtle, but it works. It works so well.
Yeah, it's definitely it's not heavy-handed. It's very light. But it's very beautiful. I mean, it perfectly said, Perpetual. Perfectly said. Like the part about them talking about life and then kind of gearing into Darius going to see Burdon. They then kind of meet. Like they kind of intertwine, like on the beach, and the thing that the Crow said that I think was good is the play on memories. Like her and Darius are having dialogue, and he's talking about death, and like is he ever going to come back? And Layla kind of says, well, I'm kind of learning this myself. It's kind of a heavy scenario. She doesn't know she's talking to him until he leaves. He kind of like takes these jackfruits and puts them in the sea to where they're at, where you see these lilies. I think that's a great remembrance of your loved ones and a great symbolic thing. You then see him run into a crowd, and Laila Starr has a sense of humanity. The goddess of death has a sense of humanity. Like, where is he going? Is he going to be alone? I love that play too, because it's really kind of it's not throwing it in your face, but it's really giving you that message of what the story is. So she later finds that, she gets caught up and is given these, like roses to kind of place for people that have passed away. She hears out in the distance and sees him with his family. That's Darius. But later you see this, arm of water and ash, kind of grab at her and takes her down to the depths of the sea. And it goes back to what the Crow was saying. It's these memories of what has been done to them and what they've remembered. And as the goddess of death and Laila Starr are in there, it's their not fondest memories, but their memories of death and despair and being taken, away. So they're drowning her, and she later wakes up with the Crow taking her out to sea, out back to the God of life. And she says, "Thank you for saving me." He's like, "I'm not saving you. I'm taking you, to the God of life." And the thing that happens is she's back in with the goddess of life, and he's like, "Hey, we gotta really stop doing this. I'm gonna get in trouble." And I think I like the wit in it too. It's very it's witty. It's the dialogue is great. The storytelling is great. The character building is great. And this is 12 years. The other thing is at the very end of the story, it says 12 years after Laila Starr died drowning. So I'm thinking she's going to go back and when I think about like reincarnation, because that's the thing, they really speak about reincarnation. You know, the thing I love about what Ron V said was the soul is immortal, and it really is. I mean, we don't really know if we're being reincarnated or if this life will grant us the way of life to live again and to learn from our lessons and to be better human beings. But you know, I just love it. I mean, I love what he did with the story. I love issue 2. I'm ready for issue 3. Alonzo, what do you think?
No, I mean, I love it. I mean, you can see the passion. I mean, you can see everything that's on those pages, and it's phenomenal. And to echo my point that I said earlier, it's like I can't wait. I want more because it's the writing, the art. I mean, everything meshes so well together. And it's hard to find that combo between a writer and artist, and even the colorist with all of those things that pop. I'm like, oh my God, it's a great story, great art, everything. And you just want more and more. And there's so much depth through, you know, in it that like I move this book from a, you know, I'll just kind of wait and see to like, this is going to be on my pull. You know, I mean, I really enjoyed it. And Perpetual, seriously, thank you so much for recommending this book.
Yeah,
it just opened my eyes.
Shout outs to Perpetual for sure. I mean, we're looking at the indies, a revolution of indies, and I think these different publishers are just really taking the time to deeply think about what they want to put out. And I think the time for heroes is there, but these indies have just taken over. There's so much more meaningful tales being told. There's depth. There's just diversity. And I think with the many deaths of Laila Starr, I think it's just a beautiful tale, in such a sensitive topic. You know, and like I said, I would love to see it be a movie, and it just like with the colors being just right in front of you, the story being told, the score, you know, to kind of enhance the like what Ron V and Felipe's vision is. I mean, and is in this tale. I'm on board, man. I just can't wait. Like you said, to echo your point, Alonzo, I'm like, give me issue 3 and 4 and 5, please. Like, let me just. Can we get this in trade already, guys?
You know what?
I'm ready to sit down and just read this whole thing.
I know, but you know what? I like the way it ends, though. Like, I like how every issue ends with her coming back to life.
Yes,
and it's like, oh, you have a lesson. Like, it's kind of like a little like, hey, you know,
yeah,
you shouldn't be doing this, or you should be doing that. And then it goes to the next issue. So I kind of like it that it's. I feel like each issue is like a self-contained story, and that feels good. I mean, there's an ongoing theme, of course, but I like the fact that it's like you pick up one issue, you don't necessarily need to know what happened in issue 1.
True, yeah, because issue 2 did. I mean, you could get the premise and the synopsis from issue 1, and it's really good. Issue 2, like, yeah, if you read issue 2, you probably would be like, well, why is she after this person? You know, but like, I just can't wait. I can't wait for issue 3. I want to see what happens next. I wonder how many issues were, you know, signed up for. And it all to Eric the Phoenix's point, if it not be film, it should be animated as well. For a more sensitive audience, of course, you got Boom Studios with the Netflix options and whatnot. And there's been a booming amount of anime that they've been putting up. Some good, some bad. You know, I think I'm more traditional, so I like my drawings, but I don't like to play in 3D or anything like that, or what they were doing. But if I could see this be a great, like maybe like even a movie, you know, or like a Japanese anime or something like that on a more manga level. I don't know. It's Ron V has killed it. I love this comic. I can't wait for issue 3.
Yep.
When is it coming out, guys?
Yeah. So in the chat, do you guys have any recommendations for Steve to do a review on? I mean, we're definitely taking them. Just like Perpetual gave us Laila Starr, we'd love to hear from you guys because hey, this is like opening our eyes and our minds to something different. And this is, I mean, these aren't like your Batman titles, your Spider-Man or X-Men, you know, stuff like that's great. But, you know, getting a book like this, I mean, it's really, it's deep. So if you guys have comic books like that you guys want us to kind of read and to check out, like drop us a comment or you know, just leave us a note on Instagram. We love it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely drop us some comments. Let us know what you guys would like to see us read. I'm seeing Lady Death. Lady Death, huh? Maybe, Papa. Al Abbott or Anna Bot. I'll have to look into that. If it's Abbott, 1973, I would like to read the prequel to that, and then read 1973 because I hear that
he was all over it.
Yeah, I have those issues, so we could definitely do that as well. The other thing that we want to do we want to tell them that? Do we want to spill the beans, Alonzo? I know Perpetual knows about this because my brother and I were talking in the back, messaging back and forth. But you guys, I would love to. The Abbott 1973, I think. But I would love to, as you guys are making these recommendations, as we get through these shows and, as we kind of improve the dialogue and whatnot, because sometimes we go off base and we're live, right, Alonzo?
Yeah, but that's okay. That's okay. That's what happens. That's what happens when you go live.
That's the best part about it, guys. But we want to be able to invite the community, the recommendation that are given to the comic to us. We would love to have that person in the community give their take, be a part of this dialogue between Alonzo and I. I truly would love to kind of have that conversation with each other. It gives us a better understanding of each other. We're going to have different takes, and I think that's the beauty of it. I mean, we can walk away with something that maybe I might have missed or Alonzo might have missed that maybe to Perpetual example of bringing that in. I would love to what's going on, Jeff? My brother Geek Driven is in the building. I would love to have your guys' participation in the show. Like we're talking about community and growing together and everything of that nature. So let's do it. I would love to have you guys on the show, and we would love to have you guys on the show for sure. Alonzo and I. So definitely, I think we're at 32 minutes, and I think we could say the next issue. Please go ahead and give us a comment, and we'll pick from that. I think Sheena put in Abbott 1973, so I will definitely pull the trade to read the original Abbott, and then we'll get into 1973. Or maybe I might just pick up those trades because I know we're in issue 4 right now. We'll see. But with that being said, you guys, we like to thank you guys for taking the time to roll with us. What is it? It is 3:32. You guys will see us at 7 p.m. rolling with us with the top picks of the week. If you guys didn't check out Karate Kev's Power Pack review, Super Power review, you got Alonzo up in the building. You got my man Asian Funk. You got Brando from Comics Kings. You got No Good Comics. And they were showing those gems. So definitely check the rewind. Definitely subscribe to my man Kevin, Karate Kev. And Alonzo, what do you got in the works? I know you got some shows coming.
Well, you know what? We are going to be doing a review of Warrior in 2 weeks, and the Warrior series that's on HBO Max. I mean, it is fire. I love it. And we're going to be talking about it, and it's going to be in 2 weeks. We're also going to be doing another show, hopefully soon. So contact JR. He is asking people if they want to come on his show. It is going to be a Star Wars related, but definitely hit him up if you are a Star Wars fan, and he's going to work wonders. So yeah, definitely check us out. We got stuff. We have things coming down.
Definitely, guys. And we're closer than you guys think. We are 30 some odd away from that 1,000. So, tell your friends, let them know about the show. We greatly appreciate you guys taking the time to roll with us. I can't echo that enough. And, we are full supporters of your guys' shows as well. We believe in you guys. We love the content. I think this is a booming time for content. I'm super excited to see my peers and my cohorts and my friends putting on shows as well. So before we leave, much love to you guys. Thank you guys. Hit those likes, comment, subscribe, hit those notification bells. We got more interviews to come, guys. And with that being said, if you want to do it right, collect what you like.